Day 12 of Broncos camp, the offense starting to find its groove a little bit as the Broncos get set for its first preseason game coming up on Friday. Plus, Jake Plummer is here on set, so buckle up. Broncos Camp Daily starts right now. Thank you for joining us for Broncos Camp Daily. I am Phil Milani. So happy to be joined by former Broncos quarterback Jake Plummer. Jake, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I love coming out and seeing practice. Always brings back a lot of memories, and also some you don't want to revisit, like the grueling days of camp where you're getting tired of seeing the defense and going against the same guys, and you just want to get to the first game. But it was nice. Things are going well.
No itch to get back out there, huh?
Not at all. If anything, maybe just to go run around barefoot on the grass and, hanging out with the guys would be fun, just to see if there's anything I can impart on them, a little bit of wisdom or a little bit of help. But otherwise, no desire to go strap it back on. I'd have to start training 5 years ago.
Well, I want to ask you about Russell Wilson. All the talk all camp long, Sean Payton coming in, working with Russell Wilson. What'd you see? I know you got to check out practice a little bit today.
Yeah, I was a little distracted. Rod Smith came in and Steve Atwater, and I got to meet the owners, and so I was a little distracted and had my kids here too. But what I saw, saw some red zone 7-on-7. It looked really crisp. The 2-minute drill went well. He threw a nice ball to score a touchdown, and anytime that happens after a long practice, you're feeling good, especially when it's a padded practice. So it was good energy, and Russell was involved with the guys and going around, and giving high fives, and that's really what I want to see too, is see him be the guy. We're going to follow him. Everyone's going to get behind three, and however he goes, we're going to go with him.
You had that down. I mean, you were the natural leader, right? I mean, guys really rallied around you.
Yeah, there's some days you got to be quiet and just go about your own business because it's a tough day for you and you got to work and just be a silent leader by example. But then there's other days you got to go and be a little more, not a cheerleader, but more amped up and cheering them on and getting them going. And so, you got to have a lot of faces you put on as a quarterback. And having guys around, though, that's the real key. I love seeing Rod today because I mentioned to, the kids, it was easy with Rod around.
Yeah.
I could come out here and have an okay day, but Rod was going to pick it up for me or go get after the guys if they weren't having a good day. And I didn't have to always be that vocal leader.
I got a few more questions for you, but
Awesome.
Here is what Russell Wilson had to say after practice.
We have a coach, and Coach Payton, that's been one of the best offensive play callers of all time. But also, too, we have a lot of great coaches on the staff. Coach Lombardi, Coach Johnny Moe, Coach Webb, who's a guy who's played in the league. We got a lot of knowledge around us, throughout the whole team. Coach Streif, who's played in the game at the highest level. So there's a lot of knowledge around us. And I think that if we're all able to glean from that knowledge and learn as much as we possibly can, and then at the same time take our abilities and put it out in the field and just have a great, tremendous trust into all the things that we're learning, I think it's a great opportunity for who we are and where we can go. And the key is obviously all of us staying, super healthy and playing, being ready to rock every week. And but I feel like we're doing a great job. And there's a lot more to go.
So that was Russell Wilson after practice, day 12 of training camp here. Jake, if anybody can relate to a guy like Russell Wilson, it's you. I mean, changing teams mid-career there, coming into Denver.
Yeah, in our first year, we did all right. We made the playoffs. We lost. But our offense was a work in progress. I was learning. I knew the West Coast offense from Mark Trestman, but I didn't know it at the level of Shanahan's, mastermind, mad scientist approach to where we'd have an offense, but then every week we'd game plan. So plays would change. He'd add routes here. He'd change some concepts. And so it was a constant learning process for me. But once it started clicking, you saw the next couple of years, especially in 2005 when we were a machine. We couldn't be stopped. And so I see Coach Payton is a great football coach he's football coach with football being the emphasis. And you can see that he's pulled the guys off of doing a lot of other stuff and had them focus. What are you here for? Well, you're here to play football. And I really like that approach because the expectation here is always to win. And the Broncos, that's what they've done. So the expectation is set no matter what. Now it's how are you going to go about working to accomplish that? How are you going to work not just individually but as a team? And so he's demanding that from these guys to shift their focus to what's important. And what's important is to not just talk the talk, but go work hard so you can walk it come the season. And I think that they'll be ready. He's a great coach, and he's put a great staff together. And I think that the Broncos have a good chance to be very much better than they were last year. But I'm an optimist, man.
Yeah,
I always
I love
believe
it.
it's a Super Bowl every year. You have to believe that. And that's what Coach Payton is like. He's pissed if they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's not even talk about that right now. But if they don't, of course, that's the whole thing that's the whole goal, is to get to that next step of the playoffs and then see what happens.
We got a couple more, and then we'll wrap up. But let's send things down to the field. Check in with Sydney Jones.
Thanks, Vol. We're here with tackle Garrett Bowles. Garrett, we're more than halfway done with camp at this point. So how has this year really been for you so far?
Good. Just out here, just trying to get better every single day. I love the new faces we have in the room. With Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey and the guys behind them. And so, we have a great room. We just got to stack the days together and get better every day and get ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, you talk about the room. What do you like about the chemistry that this offensive line has?
It's all about family and ball. I think that's the first time since I've been here that it's everyone's, goals are all the same. We want to be the best O-line in football, and not only that, but we want to make sure that number 3 is protected and, and just be, those guys that enforce the rules and continue to develop the younger guys. But it starts with us up front to lead this team where we need to go.
This offense has had some good progress over the past few practices. Are things starting to click for you guys?
For sure. It's like I said, this is, I don't know, my 6th offense or so that I've been in. So everything's a little bit different. But I love the coaching staff, love Coach Payton and his demeanor and, his structure that he has, and it keeps everybody accountable.
With the first preseason game just a few days away now, I know head coach Sean Payton said that starters are going to play about 15 to 18 snaps. Are you looking forward to getting out there, getting some game action?
For sure. I haven't played since week 5 last year, so I'm excited to get out there and, dust the rust off a little bit and get ready for week 1.
Looking at the other side, the defensive line, what have you seen from some of those guys, specifically Zach Allen? I know head coach Sean Payton has talked about just how energetic he is out there.
He's a havoc for sure. He's always causing problems and, shooting the gaps. You definitely got to keep an eye on him. But I think all the guys are doing great. DJ is going to get healthy. I know Mike Purcell is going to get healthy, but we got Randy Gregory and Frank Clark that I've been battling with him for so long in Kansas City the last couple of years. But now he's on our side, so that's really nice. But I'm just really looking forward to seeing those guys go out there and tack the quarterback and give us the ball back so we can go score some points.
Garrett, appreciate you taking the time to talk today.
Yeah, you have a good one.
Thank you very much, Sydney. We're back here on set with former Broncos quarterback Jake Plummer. Jake, you talked a little bit about Sean Payton and what he's bringing here. You see any similarities to your former head coach and Mike Shanahan?
Yeah, he loves football.
Yeah.
He wants to coach football. He wants to live football. He wants his players to also dive into football. And Mike was all about football. And so a brilliant mind, too. A guy who can take an offense. And I saw a couple quotes of his. Is like, it's not what we can give them. It's what we can learn from them and then put them into so they succeed. Like, what are our players' talents? What are they good at? Are we going to be a downhill pounding football, running the ball team, or are we going to be a spread it out, let our athletes run? And so learning your players is so important for a coach, and he's one of the best. His proven track record speaks for itself. And so the players, it's just a matter of them buying in and now them doing the work to just trust each other. If they can build that trust together and know who their leaders are and listen to those leaders and then also just rise together. I think, good things are bound to happen.
Jake, got a last one for you before we let you go. What have you been up to? I know you've been running a business, man.
Yeah, running a business, Umbo, getting into functional mushrooms, non-psychedelic, long history behind the healing properties of these organisms. So again, getting a chance to channel and teach and advocate and educate about an organism that grows on the planet that can really benefit us humans and help us kind of feel better, function better, and sleep better and all of that. And that's been a lot of fun. And then that along with raising 3 kids.
That's a full-time job,
traveling,
right there.
having a little fun, going out of the country a little, and then spending summer, just having fun with the kids before they get back into school. So life's been good.
Well, Jake, I appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure catching up with you, and we wish you well post-football here and with your business.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. That's going to do it for us. For Jake Plummer, I'm Phil Milani. This has been Broncos Camp Daily.